Today's video is all about wine slushies. You can get super creative with your flavor profile. I did a mango coconut white wine slushie. I did a blueberry orange red wine slushie, and I'm gonna show you how to do a strawberry white wine slushie. Welcome to the Salted Pepper, where we cook for real life using real food and we keep it real simple. Today we're gonna blend something up. We're gonna blend up wine slushies. I'm gonna show you 3 different flavor combinations that I love, but you can get really creative and make your own. The basic formula is gonna be ice, fruit, and wine. The wine can be red or it can be white. It can be any type of wine that you like to drink. You're gonna use 2 cups. So I'm using the Ninja Foodi cold and hot blender. You can use any high-speed blender or any blender that is capable of really crushing ice and making something nice and smooth. This blender works great though. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started, and then I'm gonna talk about the different combinations that I did. Oh my gosh, they're so delicious. 2 cups of white wine. This is a Pinot Grigio. Nothing super expensive or anything like that, just something that I usually have on hand. 2 cups of ice. And I do recommend putting the ingredients in this order into the blender. Then we're gonna use 1 cup of frozen strawberries. Now, I don't even have them cut up. You don't need to. This is about the size of chunks that the blender can handle. So you don't wanna put in like a whole frozen mango or something like that. You do want to cut those up into chunks, but this is small enough. The blender works perfectly with that. 1 cup frozen strawberries. You do need to use frozen fruit in this for the best results because it's gonna also help to keep that slushiness. All right, put the lid on your blender. And on this blender, I'm gonna use the smoothie function, and that will run for 45 seconds. All right, great, we're all done. Take the lid off there. And now I'm gonna pour it into this wine glass, and then I'm gonna spruce mine up a little bit. Didn't wanna do it in the whole pitcher because I haven't tried this yet, but I'm gonna add a little bit of lemon oil to mine and see if I can get a strawberry lemon wine slushie. All right. Oh my gosh, this is just simply wonderful. Now, you can very easily double this. So if you want an entire pitcher full, just double all of the ingredients. And I will go over all of that in the written post, of course. All right, now the best part, you can make these up ahead of time, or you can just keep a bag in your freezer for any time you want a little wine slushie. So just grab a Ziploc bag and pour it in. Zip it up and throw it in the freezer. Then I'm gonna show you a really easy way to just pour out a glass at a time and keep this in the freezer as long as it lasts, which for me, it doesn't last very long. All right, so I'm gonna taste it like this, and then I'm gonna add a little bit of lemon oil and see what that tastes like. It's so beautiful. You can actually eat it with a spoon. Oh my gosh, so delicious. Super, super refreshing. Now, this is not overly sweet. You could certainly add a little bit of sweetener if you wanted. That's no problem at all. If you wanted to do like a simple syrup, which is 1 part water to 1 part sugar, or even a sugar substitute, you can do that, but then knock the wine down a little bit. So let's say you're gonna put in a 1/4 cup of simple syrup. You would take the wine down to 1 3/4 cup, because it's very important that you have the right liquid to ice ratio. So if you wanted to skip the wine, you could skip the wine and use a different liquid, it would be fine. But keep in mind, the alcohol is what keeps it from freezing in the freezer. So if you make this up without alcohol, it'll be perfectly fine to drink right then. But if you throw it into the freezer, it's gonna be a complete ice block. If you wanted to do it that way, okay, go ahead. Pour the leftovers into ice cube trays. Then bring those out. Then use the blender to reblend, and you'll be good to go. All right, let's try that lemon oil. I just thought it was kind of interesting. I think strawberry basil would be really good too. So if you're gonna add oil to a one batch like I showed you today, usually about 1/4 of a teaspoon of an oil will be enough. If you're gonna use an emulsion, like I use a lot for baking, so I have them, I use coconut for the mango. I used 1/2 tablespoon for that amount of wine slushy. So for this, really a drop. I don't wanna overpower it. Yeah, just a drop. And let's see. All right, let's see what it's like with the lemon. I really like that. I think it was too much lemon oil for one glass. It's a little strong, but that really adds a nice brightness too. I'm super excited to get creative with these throughout the summer, so I will update the written recipe post with the new combinations of flavors as I come up with them. And I want you to get creative too and share the different flavor combinations that you're using. I really want to hear from you. All right, so all 3 of the flavors were in the freezer for about an hour or so, and they're still soft and able to be poured. All right, so I'm gonna recap what I made here. I have a mango coconut, and for that I used a coconut bakery emulsion, or you could use coconut extract, that would be perfectly fine. And then I have a red wine slushy that I used blueberries and a little bit of orange oil. And this is the oil that I use for baking as well. And then our strawberry one, which was strawberries and a little bit of lemon. So I thought it'd be really fun. Why don't I try to layer them in this glass? I don't know if it'll work, but hey, let's give it a shot. No, I think that's kind of cool. I don't know if I'd go to all the trouble, but it is kind of cool to see all the different colors. So you can really get creative with that too. I think this is just a fun summertime wine slushie. Cheers and enjoy. Oh, I like all those flavors together. As always, make it yours, make it delicious, and keep it real.